I'm having a huge smile because I was here before. I'm an alumni of this university. I'm very grateful to be here. And 2 years ago, I was standing up there doing my PhD about psychology of entrepreneurship, and here I am again. Thank you so much for having me tonight. And I must be, because Kun Becking said it, it's never been so full as tonight. So it's fantastic that all you have came here. And I'm giving a bit of a strange talk, but it's connected to all the other lecturers, all the other presentations, because I am a woman and I love chocolates, so I love to eat Mars bars, although sometimes maybe not very good to do. But I played football already for 35 years, so it's a shame that Justin is not with us now anymore. I played football 35 years. At the beginning, everybody thought I was crazy. I still play it for PSV. I'm very proud of it. And I have Leap in my city of Eindhoven, so next time I will visit it. And of course, I buy from bol.com, so I'm one of your customers, one of the so many visiting your site every day. And I'm going to take you into a bit more into entrepreneurship, independent entrepreneurship, but from a very different angle. And looking at entrepreneurship, it's about cognitive skills that you learn here at university, about making business models, finance, accounting, marketing, all these type of things that you learn, which are very valuable. But it's more about the emotional intelligence, and we already heard from the previous speakers some things about that before. It's about emotional intelligence, that you understand your customers, that you can persuade them, that you can negotiate, that you can listen, which is very important. And also the more spiritual part, that you also use your intuition into entrepreneurship. And I am an entrepreneur myself already for a long time, and later on I went to the academic field, which is maybe a bit of a strange transfer, but I combine both worlds. And I try to give my knowledge, my experiences, my networks to the people who need it most. And I came towards an idea of helping people coming from violence into entrepreneurship. And maybe it sounds a bit like a crazy idea, but it all started when I was the women representative of the Kingdom of the Netherlands at the United Nations. And Holland is the only country in the world that has a women representative. So I had a statement that I addressed at UN in New York about women empowerment and women entrepreneurship. And that's where I came across a topic which might shock you a little bit, and it's a bit, I think it's a bit of a surprise for you tonight, but I came towards the topic of violence in the Netherlands. And when I was a women representative, the 1st of January, I had a look at the data and all the figures, and I was shocked. We have in the Netherlands 1 million people who are victims of violence every year. And about a quarter of them, so let's say 230,000, even a bit more, experience very frequent and very serious violence almost every day, which is a huge number if you look at the 17 million people population. And the police get about 95,000 signals every year because of domestic violence, only domestic violence. And it mostly influences women and small children. But we also have 12,000 people living in shelters every year. We have 7,000 people coming from human trafficking trade in the Netherlands. And we've got about 32,000 people who look for asylum because they flee war. And maybe you think, why is that lady on stage, being a professor of entrepreneurship, telling these figures? Well, because there is entrepreneurship in these people. These people are isolated, they're traumatized, but at the same time, they had to flee a violent situation. You're not doing that just because you don't have anything else to do. You do that because you want to escape, and that means you have courage, you have perseverance, and you have resilience. And these are the entrepreneurial qualities for successful entrepreneurs. I did research into qualities and wrote books about it, and then I thought, oh, of course, in these shelter homes that we have so many in Holland, we have people who have the capability of becoming an entrepreneur and having a startup. And they don't all have to go like Leap and go from a startup to a scale-up to a huge enterprise like bol.com. They don't have to. But at least I think we should give people a second chance in their life, a new step that they can take. And that's where I started my own program here in the Netherlands, where it's about the personal development, about empowerment of people. Because if you are empowered, you regain the self-confidence, the self-esteem, and you know that your dream may be there, and you've got people who can help you in realizing that dream of a startup, then you can become economically independent. And hopefully we can eliminate also a few of the taboos. And I'm running the program now for many years, and I see that things help, and entrepreneurship can be a tool. It's not a holy grail, right? It's not that if you have an idea and you are resilient and perseverant, that everything will be a success. We've seen the stories of struggles, we've seen the stories of anxiety, and you have to live with uncertainty. I'm an entrepreneur, so I know that I don't know what my income will be next month. But I know that I'm doing the things that I'm passionate about. I know that I do the things that's why I want to get up in the morning. I want to have fun. And that's what entrepreneurship can give, and being your own boss and being independent. And I see that works for people like Najib. Najib comes from Syria. He is now in Holland for almost 2 years, and he's trying to set up his business. It's a struggle because he doesn't know anything about the Chamber of Commerce or about the legislation for his products. But entrepreneurship is something that keeps him going, and I think it's kind of life university because it develops you in a certain way. You get to know all these talents that maybe you didn't know that you had them. And sometimes you look in the mirror and you think, oh dear, that was not very clever, I should do it next time differently. But it's the biggest method that there is for personal development. And that's what Najib shows me, and I'm very, very proud of him, and also very proud of Diana. Diana started a workshop for making clothes, and she came out of the program, and I was walking at a Christmas market, and a phone rang on a Sunday, and I was like, who is calling me on a Sunday? It was Diana, and I was like, that is a problem, because she's never calling me on a Sunday. And then she called me, she said, you said I'm so happy because my wedding dress was chosen as the dress. So it was the winner of a contest for Linda TV. And that moment made me so happy that somebody, took the challenge and the courage to start up a business. And it's not only in the Netherlands. We have so many people coming from violence living in the Middle East, for example. So I travel in my summer times, I'm not going to Tenerife or wherever place. I'm visiting refugee camps in the Middle East, and I meet people like Saba, running a lingerie shop in Shatila. I'm meeting Zainab, 62 years old, when I met her, and she started a business. Her husband died, and he left her $800. She didn't know what to do, so she invested it in all kinds of Mars bars and crisps, and this is her living room, where she has her small shop. And speaking with Zainab, 62 years old, hearing the story about why she wanted that startup and why she struggled, but also why her way of getting independence is so extremely important. It's not only for women, of course, it's also for men. But I visit women entrepreneurs in refugee camps, just like this lady, Mariam, who is Palestinian, still mentions a refugee, having a small restaurant and having to take care of 7 children in a household because it's difficult to find a job. And this is the last one, and I think this picture is so beautiful because you can see her strength, but also her vulnerability. So I think this picture says everything about also the struggle of entrepreneurs, but also the strength, like, I'm having that business, although it's difficult in a refugee camp, but I will make it, and I will still have fun out of it. And I met her last summer again after 2 years. She's still struggling, but every woman says to me, and every man, it's about independence, about following your passion, and that makes that you can beat your struggles and obstacles. And because I have about 10 minutes, so just to walk already a little bit towards the end, I think entrepreneurship is important for all of us, to have an entrepreneurial mind. If you look at the new skills that we need for all kinds of corporates, but also for yourself, is that entrepreneurial mind, so that you have some courage, perseverance, you're innovative, you try new things, and try to get your antennas out all the time to see what's going on around us. And I think that gives us a lot of fun and creativity and flexibility. And looking at the people who are most vulnerable on this planet, most vulnerable, speaking about refugee entrepreneurs. They can show us, and we can learn a lot from them, how they are resilient, persevere, how they are flexible, and how they continuously try to improve their business, although small steps, but they try to do so. And my big dream, my big ambition is to make a global network for refugee entrepreneurship programs so that we can share our knowledge, our networks, and hopefully we will be here in this aula, in this place one day to be able to share the experiences and do it together. Because although I do everything myself, I don't have a company, I don't have employees, I'm self-employed, I think we can all make a difference. So think about what you want to do, whether that's in entrepreneurship, in self-employment or something else. But you can always make an impact, whether you have a big company or just like me being self-employed and being alone. But think about what you want in the future. And I hope I could inspire you a little bit with my small presentation, but I hope it leaves some impact for you, and I hope to see you again. I will be here for the rest of this evening. So thank you so much.